Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. If you could type in the text box and tell me if you can hear me. Oh, okay, Tim is typing. That'd be helpful. Tim can hear me. Yay. Yay. Okay. Thank you. So again, I think we're going to start a couple minutes after 1 o'clock. I appreciate everybody who has joined us on time. This is great. Hopefully you can download the slides as a PDF by, up here in this Files 3 area. You can go ahead and download and have the slides. You may want them to click on some of the links as we go here. Hello, thank you for joining. It's 1 p.m. I am going to wait another minute before starting, but I appreciate everybody getting here on time and joining the webinar today. So thank you, and I will get started in a minute. Was that somebody trying to talk to me? Okay, so hopefully we're going to get started in a minute here. Thank you for joining us today. My name's Emily Parkany, and I'm the Managing Director of MAD UTC, so I'm glad all of you have joined us to learn more about all of the exciting research that we're doing and our other activities. Okay, welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you are having any kinds of problems, with audio or with seeing the slides, please try to chat in the chat box, and we'll try to get with you. But in general, we just wanted to. Well, I'll go ahead and start the presentation. If I can forward. So this is my picture. If you It's always fun to see what people look like that are presenting. So do have a PhD. I'm here with a license at the University of Virginia, and I manage our University Transportation Center, which I will be talking to you about for a few minutes today. So the motivation for today's webinar, we wanted to launch our webinar series, which I'm going to show on the next slide. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the whole organization, the Mid-Atlantic Transportation Sustainability University Transportation Center, which is the regional UTC for the Mid-Atlantic region. So I'm not sure, I'm going to ask in a minute who you are as far as your affiliation, but we do have these UTCs across the country. This is one of 35 current UTCs, and there's going to be another competition in a minute. So if you want to know anything about our center, you can always go to www.matsutc.org. And I think this hyperlink works. I think the hyperlinks in the presentation work, and in the PDF, most of them work. I will try to tell you. But before we go on to the webinar series, I did want to ask whether you're who you are, so field students, and whether or not you're affiliated with MatsUTC. Are you working on a research project? Have you, I know one of our instructors for our semester-long course has joined us. Just get an idea of who you are. So we'll keep these polls open for a minute, and then I will try to send them. Okay, so thank you. So it looks like we do have a mix of students and researchers here. And again, if you have any questions, concerns, please go ahead and, here, let me go ahead and broadcast the results. Find that button. Oops. Yeah, for that one, but I can't get the other one to work. There we go. Okay. So hopefully you can see how everybody else has voted here. I think we can go ahead and close these. So the gist is that we had a mix of students, researchers, and one government person here. Thank you. But half of you are affiliated with MatsUTC, half of you aren't. So hopefully that means the people that aren't will learn even more. And I'm hoping there's something for everybody here. So I'm going to go ahead and end these right now. Thank you for participating. Slide them over. So again, I don't know how well you can read the little writing here. It might help to download the PDF using the box on the left. But just wanted to give you a feel for the other webinars in this series. We are going to try to go with the fourth Wednesday of every month, February, March, April, May, and June. And these are just 6 of our research projects. As I'm going to say, we actually have over 30 research projects now. Most of these projects are finishing at the end of the spring or before the summer. So hopefully by hearing what happens in the webinar, you're going to get a feel for what we're doing. But I'm kind of excited about this lineup. And the variety of researchers, variety of projects. Maybe a little bit of a feel for what we're doing here as a center. So I'm going to talk more about that, and especially talk about the webinar series at the end, but I wanted to just sort of motivate why we're here. So, I do want to talk about, our mission, some of our stats, talk about the 6 universities involved in our transportation center, our focus areas, some of our research projects, and then talk about some of our activities. So we're very proud of our semester-long graduate class in transportation sustainability. Maybe some of the students that have attended will be able to, or attending today can attend that when we offer it again next fall. We have several other outreach activities that I'm talking about, including our upcoming webinar series. So first, this is just a mission statement that I've obviously pulled from somewhere else, but the gist is all of these university transportation centers, ours is a regional center. There's also national centers, or there's special, topical centers, but we're trying to serve the region through applied research, education, workforce development, and technology transfer. And then our theme is environmental sustainability. So you can, everything that we do is related to environmental sustainability, and that was one of the DOT strategic missions when we were applying. So you can see the universities involved. I will get to those, but there's sort of a ship and port in the back here. That's kind of the point. This is multimodal. It's not just freeways and cars or something. We're trying to do a little bit of everything here. So just to give you a little bit more history, we did get our notice of award. It's a little over a year and a half ago. It feels like very recently, but these are the numbers, and by December 2015, we had 26 projects, 4 completed, 38 different investigators, 31 graduate students involved, 36 other graduate students involved in research, 36 other students. Those were people who came and did summer work with us, came and took our class. But so all 6 universities, lots of social media engagements, lots of website visitors, and we allocated $4.5 million in federal and matching funds to research projects. And again, that was between fall 2014 and December 2015. We actually just have allocated another $1 million in federal, which means another $1 million in matching funds for projects, and I will talk about those in a few minutes. So again, if you have any questions, if you want to, definitely go ahead and chat. We can also chat to have a discussion at the end, but please tell me if there's something that occurs to you to ask. So I wanted to talk about who our 6 universities are. Hopefully you can see the 6 universities involved here. So we're led by the University of Virginia, and that's where I work. We also have Marshall University in West Virginia, Morgan State in Maryland, Old Dominion and Virginia Tech, and our additional Virginia universities, and University of Delaware. So we're trying to represent the region, both with our universities and with our advisory board. And so as you can see, our advisory board is made up of these 11 people from a little bit of everything. We have somebody from the Appalachian Regional Council. We have several research people at state DOTs, a couple people from NPOs. Susan Handy is the only person outside of the region, and so she is the director of the National University Transportation Center on Environmental Sustainability. But we have a ports person, a transit person, a couple private people. And so we've been able to talk to the advisory board, ask them what kinds of research and things they're interested in, try to get them involved in learning about our activities. They came to our annual meeting, they've come to other meetings, and we just 2 weeks ago we were asking them which of our proposed projects they were more interested in. So we're thankful to have these people to really help us with our center. So this, I don't expect you to read every word here. If you're interested, you can again download the PDF, but I wanted to sort of go over what the 5 focus areas, and again, everything is related to environmental sustainability. And so sustainable freight movement is one of our areas. Coastal infrastructure resiliency. And this region, we're definitely worried about sea level rise. We're worried about, with our extreme weather events and whether the structures can deal with them. And also just sustainability and materials and structures is a huge topic also. Like, can we make our structures last longer? So that's one of our big focuses of our center, the coastal infrastructure resiliency. Also, energy efficient urban transportation is another big thrust of our center, where we're trying to figure out, how we can better manage our traffic, better, deal with congestion and do things with our, by figuring out environmental impacts by coming up with more efficient energy uses. So, but another thrust of our center is the enhanced water quality management. We have several projects related to that, and also sustainable land use practices. So I'll give you an idea of projects in each of these areas over the next few slides here. So I'm sorry, these are copied from our website, but they are not hyperlinked, I don't think. So if you're interested in any of these projects, you can definitely go to our website, www.massutc.org, and you can, search for LIDAR, search for and eco routes or route choice, and you would be able to get to these. You can also, look under research, and then there's an energy efficient tab, or a freight transportation tab, or whatever. So mostly, I'm definitely not going to go through each of these, but I just wanted to give you a feel for the variety of projects. We currently have, I think, 26 projects on the website. We just awarded another 6 this week, and I'm hearing about a couple of additional projects. So we are going to have about 30 projects very soon, all research related to environmental sustainability. So, many, not all, most of these projects are multi-university collaborative projects, and so some of them have 3 or 4 universities involved out of our 6 consortium members. Some of them are 1 or 2 universities. So, those were our energy efficient. Here's our coastal infrastructure resiliency, where we're doing everything from materials and concrete to smart equipment in construction. But sort of our bread and butter are these ideas of climate change and sea level rise, on impacts on stormwater design, how adaptation for hurricanes, whether we can come up with some resilience index, and looking at what kinds of structural enhancements to adapt to climate change that we can do. So we're really excited about this area and emphasizing work in this area as we go. But as I said, the center is definitely multimodal. We're interested in freight and ports and how we can do research to improve things, because this is an important topic for our area. So these are 3 of our projects. I think 2 of these do have final reports available on our website. So if you go to our website, look at these, you can look at the reports. We also have a final reports page, so you can learn more about these projects. I mentioned our enhanced water quality management is one of our big areas, and so this is everything from doing the sustainable materials, and can we use waste concrete road materials for oyster aquaculture, to how we mitigate pollutants that are running off of highway infrastructure, to removing, one of our webinars coming up is going to be the removal of nitrogen using bioretention cells, and sort of this integrated data for improving asset management is kind of multi-topic, but it's in this water list because one of our water researchers is leading that project. So then our last focus area is sustainable land use practices. So a lot of the times when we think of sustainability, we think about how can we look at our roadways and make sure that we're using them effectively, using making our land choices. So we have a couple of projects along these lines. A couple of these are projects that VDOT has wanted, and a couple of these are at least one was a competitive collaborative winner from a year ago, and that project's going to be finishing in the spring, and also the bike and pedestrian count is there. We're going to be in a webinar in March, I think. So, these, again, last but not least, these are, I think that you saw the list of 26 projects. So these are the projects that we awarded just this week. These are all people we received proposals from all 6 consortium universities, and they were due December 15th, and it's taken us, the 2.5 months or I guess 2 months to evaluate them, to get feedback from our advisory board members, to send these out for external reviews. And these are the ones that, after lots of discussion, we've selected to fund for this next year. So we're kind of excited about the different schools involved. We did ask for proposals related to either urban energy efficiency, and that's 4 of these proposals, or the coastal infrastructure resiliency, and that's 2 of the proposals. So, or 2 of the projects. And so you can sort of see who the researchers are and what kinds of projects we're talking about here. I think we're excited about all of these. I think all of them had support letters from people who are ready to implement these, ready to see the results of these research projects. So we're kind of excited about really trying to do applied research that it can be implemented, eventually implemented in the field. So yeah, moving away from all of our research, that was kind of quick, but there's also a few other things that I wanted to talk about. So one of our big things is our semester-long graduate class. We actually offered this last fall to 24 students from 5 different universities within the consortium, and it was a total of 9 modules, 10 instructors from 6 universities. So all of this was online and at your own time. So we wanted to make it asynchronous so that students could do the work whenever they were available. We used the collab system, and so that there was some learning for all of us, for the instructors to get the materials in, instructors to have different kinds of assignments, different kinds of things. It's either 1-week module or 2-week module, so the students sort of had to switch to a new instructor and how they presented the lectures and what kinds of assignments they gave. So I think, but it was definitely a positive experience all around for the instructors, for the students. And I think this was the way for the students to get exposed to the 5 areas, as you can see in this list here. And then we also had an overview at the beginning, healthy communities at the end, a finance and policy module at the end. And so this was positive. We definitely want to offer it again. Again, you would take it, this was offered as a graduate class from each of the universities, and then we taught it together. So this is just an example assignment from the graduate class. This, again, was just 1 week of one of the modules. So for the complete streets, and this link works. I think you can click on it now as you're sitting here, or you can click it from the PDF. If you scroll down, you will get this graphic with the 6 different examples of these infographics. And if you click on any one of the 6, then you can get a PDF of the whole assignment and what the student did. So I'm kind of excited that each of these infographics, they look very different, and they represent what a grad student did in 1 week to sort of respond to this assignment about putting an infographic in on a complete street. So I was very pleased. I've learned a lot about complete streets, and I'm also very happy about infographics, which I didn't know anything about until we saw what the students handed in for this assignment. So, okay, moving on from our graduate class, here's sort of a listing of some of our additional activities, whether it's communications. We do have a summer undergrad research program. We gave a Green and Blue Highway Symposium last May. I can show you some highlights from that. We had an annual meeting in August. And all of these webinars, the archives are available on our Mass UTC YouTube channel. We definitely have offered several webinars. We have this whole series now this spring. So just here's some outreach and communication, just some examples. On the left here is our brochure, so Mass UTC brochure, which now if you've attended this webinar, you know more than what's in the brochure. We do have a newsletter. We do have some mailings that go out. If you're interested in Mass UTC mailings, please go to our website. On the bottom right corner, sign up for our mailing list is right there, and you can put your email address in. You should get an email back saying, congratulations, you have signed up, and and thank you, and you could get all of our information. You can also be a friend of ours on Facebook. You could we also have the Mass UTC tweets. So all of our Facebook posts turn into Twitter feeds. So thankfully somebody else does this. I don't know as much about that, but we definitely, it's a big part of the things that we're doing. So something I do know a lot about is our summer undergraduate researchers, where last summer we had 9 at UVA, we had 2 people at University of Delaware. This summer, if you look at the last bullet here, we have extended the deadline to March 15th. So if you know undergraduates, if you're working with any undergraduates, definitely encourage them. The application asks the students to say which of the universities they're interested in working at, and we already have 4 universities committing to hosting a student, excuse me, at least one student. They also have the opportunity to work at the Virginia Transportation Research Council, excuse me, which is here in Charlottesville, and they can work on research up there. So the UVA students last summer, we got to go on a few tours. So we have pictures of our tours here on the bottom, but we also have the picture on the right is from our end of summer symposium, where everybody presented a poster, presented their work for 20 minutes, and we all listened, and it was a big rah-rah kind of fun thing. So if you're at all interested in the kinds of work that the students did last summer, definitely go to that link, and then you can see, keep scrolling. But we actually put a video together of our day, which is kind of a cute little 2-minute video. But then you can see each of the 9 posters, read the final report, see the presentation that the students gave. So it's interesting. Some of our 11,000 website visitors are people from Brazil downloading some of these reports. So, I mean, it's been very fun that people are interested in the kinds of work that the students worked on. And hopefully we're going to have, so for the 9 students at UVA, I think 5 of them are UVA students and 4 of them came from other universities. One of those is somebody who's going to come to UVA to do graduate school in the fall. So, hopefully it was a positive experience all around. So another one of our big activities was this Green and Blue Highway Symposium. Again, this was last May. It was actually in Arlington. And this slide is just going to give you just sort of a feel for, the types of presentations that we had. It was an all-day thing. This on the right is what the archive of the video looks like. So on our website we have these archives. There you can also go to our Mass UTC channel on YouTube and see these. These are some of the speakers in the poster on the left here, and like a clip from the web page on. You can get these presentations. You can look at the archive videos if you're. So to give you, this is another chance at sort of an overview of what is environmental sustainability. So that's why we were talking about, green highways, but also blue highways, dealing with the stormwater. We talked about rating systems. We talked about some local sustainability efforts in Hampton Roads area is one of the presentations. So all of those you can get if you go to this link, and you can look at more of what we did back in May. So another one of our big activities was the annual meeting, and this was in August. We had it in Wilmington, Delaware last year, hosted by the University of Delaware. We're talking about meeting again this August and maybe hopefully in Blacksburg. The last meeting had over 75 attendees, so it was researchers and our advisory board. One of the sessions was this emerging research session where we invited junior faculty from across the country to come and talk to us about their efforts in, water management, their efforts in, the urban energy efficiency, in land use, and getting my 5 topics, so coastal infrastructure resiliency and freight. So it was exciting to hear about things happening across the country. So if you're interested in that, you can actually, there was a webinar of that, and you can see the presentations. So all of these links do work. You can get a summary of our meeting. You can get the agenda. Very interesting that we had posters for all 20 projects at the time. So you really can get a snapshot of the 20 things we were doing. If any of those projects sounded interesting to you as we quickly went through them, definitely here from the list of posters you can get a little bit more about the project. We had additional discussions and all that were captured in the summary. So one thing, and then at the end we did a workshop. The infrastructure impacts of sea level rise was one of the 2 workshops we developed last year. And so we gave a short version at the workshop. As part of that, we did a webinar where we had somebody from Delaware, somebody from Maryland talk about their work with sea level rise. And so that we captured in, we were able to listen as part of the workshop, but then captured as a webinar, and the webinar archive is available for you to look at and learn from. So yeah, I think something I didn't put in our presentation, so we did develop 2 short courses last year, the infrastructure impacts of sea level rise, also an overview of transportation sustainability. We've offered the overview of transportation sustainability twice, and it's scheduled to be offered next month in Virginia Beach. Not sure it's going to happen. Actually, I think in Suffolk. These short courses are another way of we're trying to get the information out, trying to get, have people learn about what environmental sustainability is and the kinds of things that we're doing here in the center. So, okay, so, but yeah, a great way to get that information out is to have, the 25 of you or whatever who are listening to me in this webinar. So we've had several other webinars. We did a careers in transportation series, sort of as people, come, but we can keep, doing more of these. We had somebody from FHWA, 2 people from University of Alabama, a professor from Utah State, sort of tell us, how they got to where they are, what kinds of advice they have for students and others interested in doing transportation. We definitely have had webinars concurrent with, some of our other events like the May 6th Symposium, like the annual meeting. We're doing the webinar series, here that I'm going to talk about on the next slide. But again, all of these are available on Matt's UTC, our YouTube channel. There's links to them on the website. So I really hope that this is a way that we can keep learning from each other. So then I think I'm almost done here. This time is going to be short. We are going to the other sessions might be more like 90 minutes by the time we listen to 2 different research projects and have a discussion. But in this, I just wanted to ask us to look at the topics for the next 4 webinars. We have, the March webinar is going to be sort of connected vehicle applications, and have a project of Virginia, or led by Virginia Tech. I'm not sure if he also has people in at UVA and I think ODU working on parts of that project, so they might be presenting also. And then University of Delaware leading a project on connected vehicle applications. And then in April, we have somebody who's listening to us right now, so Professor Chu from Delaware, and his team. It includes people from UVA talking about removal of nitrogen. Sorry, I meant to change this. Removal of nitrogen from bioretention cells. And then we're going to talk about our Bike and Ped program. Both of these projects were selected a year ago in our competitive collaborative competition, and so I'm kind of excited about this April session. The May session is another project that was selected a year ago with people from ODU and Virginia Tech talking about using LIDAR for air quality measurement. And then finally, I guess our fifth project selected a year ago, the impacts of climate change and sea level rise on stormwater design and recurring flooding problems in the Hampton Roads region. So these guys have been instrumental in putting together the infrastructure impacts of sea level rise class. So now, a year later, they have even more to talk about related to all the things that they found as through their research project. So I'm excited about this webinar series. If you sign up for any of these, go to the link and sign up. Then, we will send reminders, sort of the 1 week before, 1 day before, 1 hour before, to try to remind you about these webinars coming up. Because I realize that many of you that have logged on today did not, or you used the link to get here, which is great. I'm glad that you used that. But if you go and sign up through the webinar system, then you'll get reminders about the webinars. So that's hopefully an advantage to you. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about and give you this brief overview. But I did want to, sit here and answer questions. If you have anything to ask me in the chat over here, I appreciate you joining us this afternoon. Hopefully the technology worked for you. And I just wanted to, again, you can email me at any time, emilyparkany@virginia.edu. You can go to our webpage and learn more and keep looking at the links and things there. Hopefully I've have made you excited about the different kinds of things that we offer and will be offering and are doing. So thank you very much for your attention. I don't see anything in the chat box, but I can definitely hang out for a couple minutes in case people have something that they want to discuss or talk about here. Thank you. All right, so yeah, so far I got thank you and I got some, all right, that's cool. I'm glad that this was helpful. Yeah, thank you. And I definitely tell me if you have additional questions about MATCTC. So, another thank you. Yay. All right, thank you everybody for joining us. Okay, so.